First of all, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending. And I'm very honored and happy, actually, to be here today. Now, Tim was actually saying we're going to talk about negotiation. And I'm sorry to say so, but that's not the purpose. I know it says so on the agenda, but you can actually raise that because it's basically not negotiation, which is the content here today. What we're going to talk about is success. How many of you would like success or even more success in your life? Could you raise your hand, please? Okay, those of you who are not raising your hand, could you please leave the room? Because the content of today will not be for you guys. No, basically it's all about success. And what I've actually imagined or discovered is that, hey, in order to be successful, you need to know how to collaborate with other people. And this is not rocket science, is it? Most people know that already. But how to do it is certainly way more difficult. Anyway, I was just wondering on the way here today, imagine I'm a pretty bad presenter. Okay? Imagine I'm not really good at what I'm supposed to do for the next couple of hours. How much do you think in percentage of this workshop you'll remember 2 weeks from now? Any idea? Fire away, guys. Will it be 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%? How much? 1%? Thank you very much. Thank you.
No offense.
And your name is? That's fine. You could be right. It could be 1%. It could be 2%. It could be pretty bad. But let's assume, just for the idea of it, let's assume for a second that I'm one of the best presenters you could actually encounter in the world. I'm able to motivate you, engage you, getting you involved, entertain you, make it fun and everything. How much do you think you will be able to remember 2 weeks from now? What then? Still 1% or slightly higher? 20%? 30%? No, do you know what? If I'm really, really good, if I'm really outstanding, if I'm really capable of motivating you, engaging you and everything else, the maximum you'll remember for these approximately 3 hours will be 50%. That will be the maximum. Now, some of you guys might be sitting there thinking, so if it's only 50%, why should we spend 3 hours on this thing? Why not just 1.5 hours? Because it's only going to be half of it. Now, what is kind of interesting is that you will remember something, that you will remember something differently, and you remember a third thing, and you remember something quite different than all of those people right here, because you will remember personally something which is what? Important to who? Yourself. And what you pick up right now, which you find might be important for me, could be very different to another person. Now, let's just assume and hope that I'm reasonably good at what I'm supposed to do. I would love you guys to write down and remember 4 major things of my presentation today. And I have to warn you guys, it's going to be a pretty of a high-speed ride, this one, because usually I spend up to 8 days on what we're going to cover in just about 3 hours today. So it's going to be a pretty high-speed road. But there are 4 basic